Hi, welcome to Adventures in Bonsai. This is going to be a quick little video, an adjunct to the coconut video that we shot the other day. The other two coconuts that we planted were purchased at a nursery on Pine Island. When I was in Walmart, I found this, which is a smaller variety of coconut. I believe it comes from somewhere in Central America. So today we're going to plant this one. Let's go take a look and see how easy it is. I'm just going to take a pot, fill it up with sphagnum moss, and all we really have to do is make a little spot for it. We need to look for the pointy end. This is the pointy end versus the end that came off of the tree. And you want to plant it with the pointy end down. You don't want to submerge it completely. Maybe 2/3 into the sphagnum moss. Just give it a good substantial packing. And then you have to wait 9 months, 6 months, but it's usually measured in months until they start to germinate. And that's all there is. So if you get a chance to get the bigger coconuts, you can get them. If you get the smaller coconuts, you can try them. But give coconuts a try, and the trick is going to be to keep them in a container that doesn't have an area for their roots to get too big. Then the tree itself should stay on the smaller side. Have fun with your bonsai. Welcome to Adventures in Bonsai. Today I'm just starting to go through my bonsai and clean up each one and see what kind of work needs to be done with them. This is the first row of trees that I have. There's only 4 of them. Okay, let's see. This one here obviously needs a trim. Okay, first I'm just going to shorten up all the long branches on this Chinese elm. Just give me something to start with here. Certain branches like this one here that just is long and runs over, and just get rid of it. A couple long ones here. And likewise, looking for stuff that's going vertically rather than horizontally and getting rid of those. I think that'll give it a nicer look when it spreads out horizontally. So here's a nice vertical one that can be shortened up. Okay, I like to have it nice and open in there so I can see what's going on. This is just a quick and simple trim. I advise you to take your time with your stuff. Here's interesting branches coming over and crossing and really not helping at all with this plant. Let me just see where this comes from completely. I'm going to get rid of this one totally. Just clip it off. It's just interfering with the structure of the tree. Okay, now I'm just going to let this grow out and fill itself in with some nice new leaves, new foliage, and that'll be that for this one. Well, while I'm here, I take a look at the sphagnum moss, and I see it looks pretty good under here. I don't see too many roots under here. Let's see if I can get this thing out easily enough and see what's going on inside. Use my chopstick here to try to help push this out. Here we go. Okay, looks good. Roots are not overgrown. Plant's doing fine. We had heavy rains last night. That's why this thing is soaked. Okay, let's check some of the other plants out on that shelf. I believe this is a hibiscus that I got from my friend Dutch. I'm just going to... This branch here is a little too long and going nowhere. I want to cut this down a bit. These branches over here get trimmed off a little bit. And we'll just let the rest of that grow in nicely. This is a pot that Dutch made. I don't know if you see his name here, Dutch. Dutch is a master pot maker. And let's take a look and see what's going on underneath. Oh boy, this one here is well overgrown. It's time for some new sphagnum moss. Because this sphagnum moss is so wet, it doesn't cut that easily. You have to take your time. I'm going to cut off maybe about 1/4 of an inch of this, and just by cutting slow, here it goes. Okay. Okay, putting a new pad of sphagnum moss under here. The roots will have some nice new stuff to grow into. Place it back in, push it down, make sure there's good contact. You can tell that's happening when the water squishes out. Now the next question becomes what to do about this moss. It's growing nicely up the tree, but that can be no good and really does not necessarily bode well for the tree's health if it gets too much moss. Moss on tree barks like this can be a little too wet and cause destruction of the bark itself. So I'm going to take some kind of a wood implement, either a tongue depressor or a popsicle stick. I'll start out with a popsicle stick and try to scrape this off. It comes off pretty easily. You can see what's happening underneath here. How the bark is changing color from the moisture of the moss. So I'm just kind of picking off the moss. I can put this moss back over here if I want. Scrape these other pieces off here. And in a little while this will resume getting its old color back. It'll actually be healthier for the tree. Okay, that's it for this one. Looks like a Florida ponticiana. Got some nice growth going on here, but could use a trim. And it looks like the trunk needs a cleaning off of this moss also. Okay, I want to shorten up some of these leaves. Okay, and actually grow back fuller. And I'm going to take my popsicle stick here and clean this trunk off a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to clean it off once again with, once I got the wrong wooden stick. I think I like the popsicle stick better, especially for these smaller ones. It comes off pretty easily. I want to get it off of these roots over here so they'll look better and feel better and be more healthy for the plant. I take some of this moss and just put it in here if I want. This is obviously a good spot for moss to grow. Here's a piece of artillery fern I want to get rid of. See what's going on. Okay, so there you go. That was quick and easy. Now let's check out the next one. This is a Buddha belly bamboo bonsai. It's really nice. I noticed that the leaves are yellowing and not really growing very healthy. And we're going to take this over to the table and see what's going on. Okay, I want to start cutting and trimming off these dead and dying leaves because all that does is makes the plant work harder to try and save them. And they're not going to be saved. They're going to go. You can cut the leaves off partially if you want, or completely. It'll also make the plant look a little better, even though it's going to look a little strange right now. I'm cutting off branches that appear to be dead. They break in your hand. It's dead wood. Here's the live part. I'll leave the live part there, get rid of some more dead stuff. This leaf is mainly dead. I don't really like the way it's going or running, so I want to clip that off. Okay, so I've cleaned off most of the dead wood that I could find and the dead leaves. It looks better already, although I do see I have this situation with the moss growing in over the trunk. I'm going to clean that up now, once again with the popsicle stick. Okay, I'm just coming out here and seeing what's going on. Oh, okay. This moss is actually covering a bunch of these rhizomes or surface roots or whatever. Over here, this can go out. Don't need this on here. It looks interesting at first, but in the long run, it's better not to have it. Like I said, the light wood on here scrapes this off pretty easily. You don't need any metal tools that'll scrape anything, and all of a sudden we got to see what kind is going on under here. Okay, let's see what's going on underneath here. Okay, we have a root-bound plant here. This is why the plant is not doing so well up top. Too many roots over here. We need to cut these roots just a little, 1/4 of an inch or so. Let the knife do the work. Watch your fingers. These roots actually like to be cut, especially when they live in sphagnum moss. They will come back and grow a lot of new side collateral roots, which is healthy for the plant. And we'll see how this plant does in a little while. We'll get a little sphagnum moss, we're going to put it in the pot and repot it. Okay, I'm just going to take some nice, good, fresh sphagnum moss, put it in here, make a new base for this plant. Go right back where it came from. Gently push it in. Then a little more firmly. Make sure it has good contact. And there you go. It's been replanted. It'll be very interesting to see how well this plant does in the next couple weeks. Let's go see what else we got out there. Start on shelf number 2 here and see what needs to be done on these various plants. First one we're going to go to is this Schefflera. I've had it for quite a while. Let's go take a look at it on the table. Okay, this Schefflera has some yellowing leaves. Almost as you touch them, they'll fall off. I'm going to cut them off. I'm going to shorten up some of this stuff. Plant's getting a little too big. I'm just going to reshape it a little bit. And they love being cut and trimmed. Okay, I've trimmed this back pretty decisively here, because I know when you trim them back, all these adventitious nodes along the trunks and the branches start to grow better. And this tree will look pretty good once it starts to fill out a little bit. Just give it a little bit of time. It's summertime, things are growing well. Now let's take a look and see what's going on over here. Looks like I have to clean up some artillery fern and some other weeds. I'm going to do that. Now, these got beautiful aerial roots on them, and I see that I've got a nice one coming down here that's attaching itself already. But I'm going to let it attach over there. I'm going to cut off the rest of this here and get rid of some of this other stuff, just to clean it up a little. Keep on going after the weeds, especially the artillery fern, which is unbelievable down here. And the problem is when you pull it off, it drops tiny seeds, so there's new stuff that's always growing. Now over here I've got this one here which is coming out. What can I do with it? I wonder if I can just bring it back and push it in here and give it a new start. Then we'll see. Maybe it'll thicken up like this one here did. This is one that I put in there a long time ago. Look how nicely it's doing. It's got a couple new shoots trying to come out here. And they'll grow down eventually. Now I have this other one over here. Which is growing down real nice. Question is it going to make it down to here or not? And if I should maybe plant it over here and get it started. I think that's what I'm going to try to do. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my chopstick, because it's got enough room to actually be planted if I just get it in the right spot. Which looks like maybe over here, but there's a branch under here. Maybe over here. I can plug that in there. Get myself a piece of nice wet sphagnum moss to hold it into place. Push it in. And hopefully this will become situated in here in this spot. And will then thicken up. In the meantime, let's take a look and see what's going on inside this plant, underneath. Okay, it's time to clean it up. It's obviously root bound. We're going to take care of that right now. Saw off a little bit. Take the plant, put it back in, squish it down a little. We're set, it's done. The plant's going to be happy. It's going to grow nicely now. And you need to do this maintenance on your plants periodically. You have to go out and look at them and examine them and see what they need and fix them up. This one here has a little bit of moss growing here onto these surface roots. I want to take that out. Put it in here somewhere. Just clean this up a little bit. Okay, so that'll probably be it for me today. So it's hot out here and I'm done for the day. I did my job, and you should go out and do your job too and take a look at your plants, have fun with them, and have fun with your bonsai.